Hi there, everyone. This is Dan Bressler from the Autism Resource Center at Options and Advocacy for McHenry County. And today I want to make a short video for you because we've been getting a lot of questions and interest in our new social skills program that we're starting, which is based on the PEERS curriculum. And so I just want to make a quick video to give you some information, answer some of those frequently asked questions, and just give you a basic overview of what the PEERS program is and what it's going to look like here at Options. So the first question we get a lot is, who is this group appropriate for? And so the answer is McHenry County residents who are 13 or older that have a diagnosis of autism or are suspected to possibly have autism. You don't need to have a formal diagnosis from a neuropsychologist or anything like that, but if there's a reasonable suspicion that the person may have autism, that would be enough to sort of include them in our programming. And the final requirement, which comes directly from PEERS, is that the person needs to be socially motivated. And so really the way that we're interpreting that is that they need to be interested in learning about keeping friends or learning how to manage conflict. So this curriculum, just by its nature, is really only going to be successful for participants who are themselves interested in being there. It's really common for maybe parents or the loved ones of folks to be interested in them learning about keeping friends. But if they aren't interested in participating in this group, it's probably not going to be as successful just because of how sort of intensive this group is. So it's important that they're motivated themselves. So what's the group about? The short version is that PEERS is designed to address the common differences in social interaction that we see in folks with autism. It really focuses on relationship skills. It's all about making and keeping friends. And some of the topics, there's a different topic each week. And some of the different topics include trading information, which is all about how to have conversations, the back and forth of conversations. How to find friends, where to find them, how to know if somebody is a friend and if they're a good friend versus an acquaintance, things like that. It talks about electronic communication, which is more important right now than ever. The appropriate use of humor, how to read somebody else's reaction to tell if they thought that your joke was funny, and how to decide whether or not you should tell that joke again. How to organize and participate in get-togethers. And there's some information about how that's maybe a little bit different right now in the virtual world that we're all living in. And then for adults, it also goes into dating, how to ask somebody on a date, how to know if somebody likes you, how to let somebody know that you like them, things like that. And also PEERS talks about handling bullies and disagreements and conflict and things like that. And so there are two separate curricula. There's one for adolescents, teenagers, and one for young adults. And so the big distinction between those two groups are the inclusion of the sessions directly talking about dating. And so for some of the folks who are sort of on the border between teenagers and young adults, our 17, 18, 19-year-olds in that region, which group to participate in is probably going to be based, at least in part, on a determination about whether or not those dating skills are going to be something that person is interested in learning and that's relevant for their life. So the format of the group, essentially it's a parent or caregiver assisted format, which means that the group participants, let's say John is a person with autism who's interested in participating in this group. While John is participating in the participant sessions, John's parent or caregiver is going to participate in a simultaneous session where the parents and caregivers are trained as social coaches. And that's one of the things that makes this curriculum really effective. And the research studies that have been done really bears that out, that because the parents and caregivers are being trained as social coaches while the participants are learning the skills, not only do we see an increase in skills, an increase in satisfaction with social interaction through the course of the 16-week curriculum, but after that as well, we continue to see maintenance or growth in those skills after the group is done, because those parents or caregivers have been trained up as social coaches for the participant. So it's a 16-week curriculum, and there are 90-minute weekly sessions. So it's a lot of time. And that's how all of this content gets packed in. So once a week for 16 weeks, the participant and the caregivers will meet in separate 90-minute sessions. And for the participants, those sessions include structured lessons. They call them didactic lessons, where you teach the content of the social skill of the week. You do some role playing or video modeling, where we watch examples of a skill done well, a skill that was successful, and maybe a skill that was done less successfully. And along with that role play or video model, there are a lot of perspective taking questions. What did this person do right in this situation? How did the other person feel? Do you think that other person would want to spend more time with the first person? Things like that to help everyone sort of think through those actions and the responses to their actions, and whether or not it was a successful social interaction. Following that, there's some time for rehearsal or behavioral practice, where the participants actually go through and practice these different skills in trading information or handling bullying and things like that. So there's some live role playing from the participants themselves, which is combined with coaching from both the instructor of the session, and then there are also social coaches within the participant sessions, other staff members who are there specifically to provide feedback on those rehearsals and to participate in the role playing. And then each week there are homework assignments, so that people are taking those skills that they've learned in the session and taking them into their real lives. So an example of a homework session might be have a phone call with one other person from the group and trade information about a topic. And so the next week when you come back, the first thing that we do is review that homework. Hey, how'd your phone calls go this week? John, tell me one thing that you traded information about with Susan. And so in that way, we sort of make sure that everyone's practicing those skills and reflecting on how successful or unsuccessful those skills may have been throughout the week. So what's the fine print? This is a big question we get as well. What are some of the nitty-gritty of the requirements? So the first point that's important to make is that consistent attendance is really, really important for this group. Some of the groups that we offer are totally fine to sort of come when you're available. Don't come if you're not. No big deal. I'm thinking specifically of things like Hangout Group, Hangout Junior, Discovery Group. Those are all sort of just come as you please. Because for this group, we're following a structured curriculum, the more sessions that are missed, the more challenging it becomes to really benefit from the program and even keep up in those sessions, because they do sort of build on each other. And so the recommendations that the publishers of the Peers curriculum give is that if you know that you're going to miss 3 or more sessions throughout the course of the program, or specifically that you aren't able to attend the first 2 sessions, because that's where where the foundation is laid for the rest of the program, it's probably best to wait for another run of the program when it's going to better fit into your schedule and your work life. And that's totally okay to say, I'm really interested in this, but maybe we need to wait for summer because I'm afraid that we just aren't going to be able to make the time during the spring. No worries at all. I think that's a great decision. It's all about how it fits into your family's life. A lot of people want to know about the fee. There is a relatively small fee for participation in this program. Right now it's set at $10 per session. So for the 16 weeks, that's $160 total. Of course, that's a much lower rate than maybe, for example, if this was being offered at a clinic, in a clinic setting, or somebody who might be billing insurance, something like that. But if that's going to be a barrier for you, please let us know. We don't want financial constraints to present a barrier to participation for anybody in our community. So we really want everyone to be able to participate regardless of their ability to pay. So if you need some support in making this work, let us know. We'll work with you on figuring out sliding scale, scholarship. We're determined to make sure that everybody who wants to come can come. So just reach out to us and we'll work it out with you. And just as an overall statement, if this sounds like something that you're interested in, something that maybe your child is interested in or a loved one is interested in participating in, but there's some aspect of this that seems like, oh, that's not going to work for us. Let us know, contact us. We want to make sure that this program has an impact on our community. That's why we began offering it, because we felt that it was an area that our community needed some more options in. And so although it is a structured published curriculum, we also want to make sure that we're being flexible in terms of making modifications that are going to allow the community to actually benefit and attend. So please reach out to me and contact me so we can discuss what that barrier is and what modifications may make this more feasible for you to participate in. We want to make sure that you're able to participate if you'd like. So if you have questions, the person in contact is me, Dan Bressler. I am one of several certified peers providers in our office. We have 4 or 5 now, I believe, certified providers of the peers curriculum. And I'm also an educational advocate for the Autism Resource Center. So my contact information is here on the screen. Go ahead and shoot me an email, give me a phone call, and we can talk about any questions that you have. Or if you're just interested in registering, I can get you that registration form and give you some more details about the program. So I hope that this was helpful. And please, if you have any questions, reach out and let me know. Have a good day.